Hello, here to do your quick revision for your history. Now, you'll be given a source-based question. There's a few questions you need to answer. One of it is going to be your basic inference question. Alright, so for your basic inference question, right, you need to know the format. Okay, these quite basic things. Number one, please answer directly to the question, or in other words, ATQ, or respect the question. Follow the phrasing exactly. Number two, please use your own words, because if you don't, you will drop down back to L11. Any lifting is called L11. Number three, be relevant to the issue where possible. Try and look at the big picture. Alright, look at the big picture. Okay, and number four, please be clear, direct, and short. Make sure it's no longer than one sentence max. Okay, anything longer than that is no longer an inference anymore. By right, it should be 1 or 2 words, or maximum maybe 4 or 5 words. Make sure it's clear as well. What I mean by clear, that means I don't want to see any good or any bad, because you must expand your vocabulary and use words that are a bit more direct than good and bad. And lastly, number 5, because you're doing a source-based case study, right? Your inference cannot come out of nowhere. It cannot come out of your contextual knowledge only. It must be based on the evidence, okay? So if the evidence is not implying something, then you cannot use it as your inference. For evidence, it's very simple. Just make sure that it is relevant. Alright, all the characters that you have in your inference, make sure that it is also seen in the evidence. Okay? And lastly is your explanation. Again, please use your own words. And then second thing is, what exactly is an explanation? It is actually a strong extension of your evidence. You are convincing the marker, aka your teacher, convincing the marker or your examiner beyond reasonable doubt of the point, right? So you must know the intention. What are you doing when you're explaining? You're actually trying to make sense of the evidence in order to give a conclusive justification for the point that you gave. Alright, so check your answer once you're done and check whether your explanation clearly extends upon the evidence in order to explain your point. Now, how do I do a normal source-based case study? Okay, normally, first thing that I would do is to brainstorm and annotate my sources. This is in order that I would check myself that I won't leave any of the sources. Alright, so let's look at this source here. This is, this is the inference source. Okay, so annotate what? Okay, annotate what the source is, online article. Okay, this one is not clear whether it is positive, pro-Stalin or not pro-Stalin, because it just states that it's an online article talking about the effects of Stalin's rule. Okay, now take note, I need to know my question. What is it that they want me to infer about? In this case, they want me to infer about the impact of Stalin's economic policies. So my answer, first line of my answer will match this thing exactly, right? The impact of Stalin's economic policies. So that is what I must look out for. So let's look at the evidence. I'm trying to look for economic policies and the impact. So it's very obvious, right? First thing I will see is there was rapid extension of Soviet Union's industry. So this is positive impact, right? So I annotate here. I have a positive impact over here. Next, I see that steel production increased, right? Steel production increased from 4 million to 17.7 million tons. Okay, what could that imply? Okay, the reason for this is probably the efficiency, right? Probably the industrialization program is very efficient, right? And so what? So what if you increase the steel production, right? This will help to modernize the country. You will turn the country, you will modernize the Soviet Union. Okay. What does this mean also? That the workers are working hard, right? They are working hard, they are showing effort, and they are indeed motivated to help the Soviet Union succeed. That's why you will get these results. Okay, so can you take note and see the 3 things I wrote here? 1, 2, 3 are based on my own understanding and my own extensions of this evidence. Okay, moving on, it says that transport also improved, right? Transport improved, communication networks improved. It became the most industrialized country. Agriculture farming also became modernized due to the collective farms, and the tools being introduced to all the farmers. Okay, so clearly, because I'm talking about increase in tons of coal, right, and steel production, so clearly this is referring to industrialization as well. So I will annotate down here, this is referring to industrialization. Okay, and overall I would say that this is a positive source, so I would say it is positive. Okay, extremely beneficial. Okay, positive will link to beneficial. Okay, so beneficial in this case, is it talking about more about the people, or is it talking about more about the output? I would say it's more about output, right? Because here you says that they clearly give you figures down here talking about output. Here output again, consumer goods. Here output, farming became modernized. Okay, also talking about output. So it's more about the benefit of the country as a whole in terms of the success rate and the output, and how far industrialized Russia became after Stalin's policies. Yes. So I can conclude based on my annotation that the impact of Stalin's rule is that it was positive. Okay, so all my annotation here, right, the words I put over here is going to form my explanation. It's going to help me in my explanation. Alright, so you just double check any of the words here, make sure they don't sound too similar from the evidence, but you're actually making strong extensions in order to explain your point about the positive impact.